The Green Wars. Plan 1. Guerrilla Gardening. The time is what the army call all 300 hours, 3 o'clock in the morning. We are in the car park of the sports center. It's empty except for me and my best friend Daddy, and an old truck. It belongs to the company that put grass on the town football pitch last week. "What are we doing here?" I ask. "Here is the plan," says Jenny. "First, we take that truck." "I'm going home," I say. "Good night." Then we drive to the town hall and then we use the grass in the truck to cover the high street from top to bottom, like one great big garden. Are you ready? I think about it for a moment. Then I smile. "Okay," I say, "let's go." Our new green high street is beautiful, but we don't have time to enjoy it. The judge says we committed a crime. He gives me 150 hours of community service. Then he gets 300 hours because it was her idea. I do my hours and return to my studies. Jenny spent her time planning how we are going to do our guerrilla gardening better in future. We want to make the whole town green. Jenny's ideas will probably put us both in prison. But someone has to help the planet. Plan 2. The Bamboo Forest. Every September, our town has a festival. Crowds of happy people eat hot dogs and wave little flags. Then everyone goes to the park on the edge of town. The mayor gives a speech and everyone has fun. I should be at home packing my bags to go and study engineering at university, but as soon as everyone has gone to the park, Jenny picks me up in another borrowed truck. This one is full of soil. "Get in," she says. There is enough soil to cover the high street from Baker Street to Humber Road, right past the new shopping center. I mixed it with bamboo seeds. It's a kind of seed that grows really fast. Before the festival is over, there will be a mine forest in front of the supermarket. No one will be able to get in or out of that street. It really does grow that fast. What do you think? Well, why not? I'll be at university next week anyway. Let's do it. Danny was right. Bamboo grows fast. It was as high as your knees before anyone discovered what we had done. By the time the council found someone to cut it down, our bamboo forest was taller than the mayor. It was great, but they took it away. After what we did last year, they knew it was us. Plus, Danny had bought the bamboo online with her bank card, so it was definitely her. This time, she got 6 months in prison. She didn't tell them I had helped her, so I still went to university, but I changed my degree to agriculture and wildlife. I wanted to learn all about plants, gardening, and farming. I thought it will help Jenny and me succeed as guerrilla gardeners. Plan 3. The vertical farm. I'm wearing my new business suite. My presentation is ready, and there is a small plastic model of my idea on the table. On the other side of the table, my 3 heads of department are waiting to see my final university project, the vertical farm. We have seen what happens when we do what Jen says. Now it's my turn. "Good morning," I say. "During my studies, I've learned a lot about city farming. After university, I want to do something with what I've learned." I show them the model. This is the high street of my town. This is our shopping center, and this is an old 9-floor car park. No one has used it for the last 2 years, and it's now for sale. I started the presentation. They can see my design on the big screen while I talk. I've designed a city farm using the car park building. There will be 8 floors to farm fruit and vegetables. This design will collect rainwater to water the soil, and we will use energy from the sun to power the special growing lights. The presentation changes to show the math of how the firm will make money. I will rent the space to small local farmers. We will sell everything in local shops to be as good for the environment as possible. Also, the ninth floor will be for any local people who want to grow their own food. My audience looks interested, but I haven't finished it yet. To prove the project can work, I've talked to local people and farmers. I've received letters of support and interest from all sides. I also gave this presentation to my bank manager. The bank will give me money if I can convince the town council to sell me the site. I turn off the presentation. Are there any questions? My project gets a higher mark in my class, but in the real world that doesn't matter. The town council didn't accept my plan. Instead, they decided to sell the site to a company who will destroy the car park and build a block of luxury apartments. The mayor says they will bring new energy to the town, so that's the end of the vertical farm. Danny kept getting in trouble while I was away. But she was out of prison when I came back, so I meet her for a drink. You should never have changed from my way of doing things, she tells me. Nothing sends our message better than covering streets with grass, trees, and plants. Her latest trip to the prison was for doing exactly that again. But I have just finished university, and my future looks good. Do you think I was clever enough not to listen to her? Plan for guerrilla gardening 2. This time I agreed to do part of what Danny wanted. We drive around town to search for the perfect location. Not in front of the town hall or the shopping center. They are the kind of places Danny thinks will send the biggest message. But I don't think these are the best place to choose. I'm looking for something different. Somewhere that's not in the town center. Not the best neighborhood, but a poor one. One that never gets any public money. One where the road is full of holes and the pavement is all broken. I'm looking for somewhere where people don't have cars outside their houses. We find the perfect place. One night, we arrive in another borrowed truck. We carefully fill the whole street with soil from one pavement to the other. It's just like JD's old place, but this time we plant vegetables gardens in front of every house. We post letters through people's doors with gardening instruction so the new lucky owners will know what to do. The letters also mentioned how much money you can save if you grow your own food. You would be surprised. It's the same neighborhood we put grass over those broken old pavement for the kids to play on. Finally, we put up a sign that says, "Please walk on the grass." When we have finished, we are both covered in soil and completely exhausted. But Dennis puts an arm around my shoulders and smiles. "Not a bad plan for you," she says. "You are learning." The people from the town council are extremely angry, of course. They send workers to the street to take it all away. But the people who live there join their arms together to protect their new gardens. Can you believe it? Just as I hoped, the people in this neighborhood like what we have done to their street. Later that day, the mayor goes to the area to explain that what we did is a crime. He isn't very pleased when a local TV reporter arrives. The reporter asks him, "The town council hasn't spent any money on this street for 20 years. Now someone else has come and improved it. Why don't you want it to be a place for growing food? Why can't it be a place for children to play and learn?" It was the main story of the national evening news, and whole town was delighted. Well, everyone apart from the mayor, of course. The night after that, Jenny and I do it again. But this time, we work fast and hard. We just leave big piles of soil, seeds, and instructions on as many streets as we can. People get the idea now, and we can't do all the work ourselves. We may need 3 more nights of that before the police catch us. Plan 5. The right place to fight. So here I am, in prison. It could be worse. The plan was mainly my idea, but I don't have to stay here too long. That's because it's my first time in prison, or it's my first time as an adult, at least. But Jenny has been in prison many times now, so she gets longer. When I get out of prison, she will still have 2 years left. She doesn't mind too much. She's happy that guerrilla gardening too was successful. We are in the separate buildings in prison, but we both work on the prison farm. I start teaching Jenny some of what I learned at university. Soon, she has learned everything I can teach her. When it's time for me to get out of prison, we say goodbye. Jenny says, "Don't worry, I'll look after the farm. When you get sent back here for your next green crime, it will be waiting for you." But my next plan doesn't include returning to prison. Do you remember those piles of soil we left in streets all over town? Half of them are vegetable gardens now. The council doesn't like it, but we choose our location well. The people that live there are really happy, and the politicians don't want to take away gardens from happy people. If they do that, people will remember at election time. One thing I've learned is this: if you want to win the battle, choose the right place to fight. The old mayor is retiring this year, you see. So the next time I try to re-green my town, I'll enter the election for the job of town mayor. Last year, I was a guerrilla gardener. Next year, I'll be the mayor, and our town will be the greenest place in the country.